guys, welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, I'm Dallas Smith, your go-to guide for all things Canada lifestyle and leveling up abroad. If you're planning to move to British Columbia, whether as an international student or as a new immigrant, well, this video is your go-to guide. I'm talking real life info, no sugarcoating, no fluff. I'm going to be diving into 10 important things that you need to absolutely know before you make your move. From where to live, what to expect, the cost of living, the culture, the lifestyle, and even how to survive the weather. So grab a drink, take some notes, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Let's talk where you would actually be living in BC, because trust me, BC is not just Vancouver this, Vancouver that. The province is made up of so many unique cities and regions. Depending on your lifestyle, budget, and your goal, where you choose can either make or break your experience. Let's break down the top cities, starting from the Lower Mainland, aka the place where most people land first. Then we will head out to the rest of the province. Focusing on the Lower Mainland, we have Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, Richmond, New West, Coquitlam, and North Van. These are the top cities that I will be talking about in the Lower Mainland. Let's start big. Vancouver. Yes, this is where most people dream of moving to when they think BC. It is beautiful, diverse, and buzzing with energy. But the rent is going to humble you guys. Think of 2,500 for a one bedroom. It is crazy. It's perfect for professionals, creatives, and students who like the city also and do not mind paying extra for convenience. You will also enjoy the beach, mountain views, and bubble tea on every corner. Next, we have Burnaby. Burnaby is like Vancouver's low-key twin. It's still busy, still well connected with SkyTrain lines, but it is more residential. It is great for students, working professionals. You still get the city access without the full chaos. For Richmond, it's giving rich. I'm not even joking, literally. When you go to Richmond, you see really fancy houses. I would say it is quite residential. I do not think that it's a perfect place if you're a student and you're looking to connect, have like a major community. Of course, the Asian cuisine there is also super close to the airport, but housing is on the high side. So hurry up if you want to move here. Now let's talk Surrey. One of the fastest growing cities in all of Canada, is incredibly diverse and a huge hub for newcomers. If you're planning to raise a family here, Surrey is the best place for you. It has loads of parks and good schools. The transit is also getting better. This is definitely a smart and long-term pick, if I must say. New West is one of the oldest cities in BC. It's got heritage buildings and more affordable rent than Vancouver. It is also more quiet than Vancouver with a little charm. You will find young families, students here. It's also like a major college there. It's a pretty good area for students or families if you want to move here. Another one is Coquitlam. Coquitlam is also a very calm residential location. It's filled with tons of space. It's also well connected to transit system. I would say it's also a good place for students, and the rent is also affordable. If you're thinking of moving here, Coquitlam is also like a great choice, whether you're a family or a student. If you're the hiking mountain view type of person, North Vancouver is the one for you. North Van is younger and trendier. Accommodation here is also quite pricey compared to the other parts of the Lower Mainland region. But if you love nature, you want to connect with nature, hike and do all that jazz, then North Van is the one for you. I would also say this area is residential. Students staying here, it's like you're in a different place entirely. You're in North Van, you're in North Van. North Van in itself has like all of the things that you would need. It's well connected. Now guys, let's head outside the Lower Mainland. We have Victoria, Nanaimo, Kelowna, Kamloops, and Prince George. These are the top cities in the other regions of BC. So for Victoria is coastal, calm, and charming. It's the capital of BC. It is filled with more students, way more laid back than Vancouver. It's great for those who want a slower pace, artsy vibes. Next is Nanaimo. Nanaimo is more like Victoria's chill little cousin. It's way less busy. It has more of nature and that island vibe. It's also way more affordable than all of the big cities, and all the ferries go straight to Vancouver, so you're not totally cut off from the mainland environment. It is ideal if you want a peaceful coastal life with a side of convenience. So for Kelowna is a gem. It is growing fast. It's more affordable than Vancouver. It's filled with outdoor lovers. It's great for families and people who generally enjoy more space, a mix of city plus nature. So if you are that kind of person, then Kelowna is the one for you. Kamloops is a smaller city with a big community feel. The good thing about Kamloops is the lower cost of living as opposed to the other bigger cities. It's also filled with nature. It's a bit more rugged. It's not as flashy as these other cities, but if you're looking to be away from the crowd and you just want that serenity, then Kamloops is the one for you. And lastly, we have Prince George. Prince George is way up north. It is more colder and more rural. It is not for everyone. So if you do not mind living a very quiet life, it is worth the look. Now let's talk money, because living in BC is not cheap, and that is something you need to plan before you move here. We're going to dive into the rent, feeding, utilities, internet bill, and we're going to be talking about your phone plans. Housing is the big one. Whether you're buying or you're planning to rent, housing will most likely be your biggest expense, especially in the Lower Mainland. So let's break it down. In Vancouver, which I do believe is the most expensive, one bedroom is around 2,200 to 2,500. If you're looking at a 2-bed, you'll be budgeting around 3,500 or more, depending on the area. For Burnaby, Richmond, North Van, it's just slightly less than Vancouver. It's still quite pricey, around 2,200 to 2,500. Again, depending on the area, the perks that comes with staying in that area. For Surrey, Coquitlam, you will find a bit more breathing room here. I think 1,700 to 2,200 for a decent 1-bedroom. Here, housing is more affordable as opposed to like the other ones that I mentioned. For other regions outside of the Lower Mainland, like Victoria, Kamloops, Prince George, Nanaimo, Kelowna, Victoria is comparable to Burnaby or Richmond, but it's a bit more manageable. But for Kamloops, Kelowna, Nanaimo, Prince George, the housing is way more affordable. Think 1,400 to 1,800 for a very good 1-bed. So if you're on a tighter budget and want to stay in a very convenient place, these areas are better for you as opposed to the Lower Mainland areas. But in terms of groceries and food, BC is still not cheap. Depending on your feeding habits, what you eat, and your general intake, you should think around $200 to about $600 monthly. If you're a family, you need to budget more than this for your family. In terms of utilities and internet, if your rent does not include utilities, you need to budget around $100 to $200 for your hydro, gas, and water bill. And for internet, you need to budget around $70 to $100 monthly for your internet subscription. Let's talk about how you would get around in BC once you land here. What is the transportation tea? BC has a pretty solid transit system, especially in the Lower Mainland where we have the TransLink. TransLink offers buses, SkyTrain, the sea buses, West Coast Express. So if you're staying in areas like Vancouver, Surrey, North Van, Burnaby, you have access to this transit system, and it's pretty straightforward. It's easy, efficient, and safe. For other regions like Victoria, Nanaimo, you might need to get familiar with the BC ferries that take you across the sea to come back here or to go back to Victoria. I mean, within Victoria, you do not need the ferry. If you want to leave Victoria and come to the Lower Mainland environment, then you might need to explore the ferry option. In terms of the transportation cost in BC, for a 1-zone transit, you pay about $3.50. But there's something we get here called the Compass card for the monthly subscription for the transit. The list is $104 for 1 zone and goes up to $170 for 3 different zones. Depending on the number of zones you have to go through in a day or in a month, you can pick from these different options. Now, do you need a car in BC? Well, it all depends on where you're staying. If you're staying in areas like Kamloops, Kelowna, Prince George, Nanaimo, etc., then you might want to get a car because the transit system is not as great. And if you're staying in areas like Abbotsford, Langley, getting a car might be the best and most convenient option. There is the transit system, but it takes a longer time for the buses to come. So if you're somebody that's looking for something convenient, or you do not want to waste your time waiting for the bus, and getting a car might be the most reasonable option. Also, if you're a family moving here and you're going to be moving to Abbotsford, Langley, or Delta, getting a car is the best choice. If you're going to get a car, you need to also think about insurance, think about parking. Insurance here, on an average, is about $150 to $200, depending on your plan. Whatever it is that you put in your insurance plan would determine how much you have to pay. Lastly, parking. Parking is something that you need to consider if you're planning to drive here, because parking varies in different parts of the city. Downtown parking is quite pricey. In some other areas, it's free parking for a specific period of time. But for parking in general, you should budget at least $20 to $30. That can be for 2-3 hours or 4 hours, depending on where you're parking. It's pretty much everything on transportation. Let's talk about studying in BC. If you're thinking of moving to BC as an international student, or already here, you're thinking of going back to school, BC has so many top-tier universities and colleges for you. In terms of tuition fee for schools, you should budget around 20,000 to 60,000 Canadian dollars yearly, depending on the course you're doing. Make sure you budget and you plan ahead for this. Also, worth knowing is the fact that students only get 20 hours weekly to work. But if you're on break, say summer break, you can work full-time without any issues. So you need to make sure you're doing your budgets properly before you think of moving here as a student or continue your education here. So the next important thing that you want to know about moving to BC is how you're going to make it, right? Whether you're a newcomer, international student, or you're coming here for work, or you're even a fresh graduate, finding a job in BC can be smooth and it can also be a hustle. So where are the jobs? Well, in BC, most of the job market is concentrated around and in the Lower Mainland, places like Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, Richmond, Coquitlam, and Vancouver Island, majorly Victoria and Nanaimo. These are the areas where you will find the bulk of the companies, industries, where most of the opportunities live. If you're thinking of moving here for work, these are the places for you. However, places like Kamloops, Kelowna, Prince George also have growing opportunities, especially in sectors like healthcare, construction, and trade. So let's talk about the top in demand job sectors right now in BC. First, we have tech. Yes, tech. So if you're a developer, UI, UX designer, cybersecurity stuff, you're good to go. Secondly, healthcare sector, nurse, doctors, whatever it is that you're doing in healthcare, there's a place for you here. If you're into construction trades, like you're a plumber, engineer, carpenter, well, you should have your certification, etc. There is huge market right now. Accounting and finance and retail customer service. These are very hot sectors right now in BC. Now, how to find the job? Job hunting in BC is wild. But just like I mentioned in one of my videos, general websites you can find jobs is Indeed and LinkedIn. It works everywhere. It's also working in BC. However, BC has its own official government job board, which is workbc.ca. Here you find postings all around BC. Another thing is the company website. If you have a company that you admire so much, really want to work with this company, you can go on their website, check their career section to see the kind of job postings that they have there. Then you can apply. One last part that is very crucial that I cannot overemphasize is networking. You need to network because some of the jobs are not even posted on the company's website. They require referrals by the employees within the company. My first main job here was through referrals. My friend that referred me, and that's how I got the job. I don't think there was like actual posting, and referral only comes from you knowing these people or the employees. So the importance of connecting and networking cannot be overemphasized when you are looking for a job, because usually what these companies do is they first roll it out to internal people and they tell their employees to refer people from external sources, and they gather all the information that they have. If it's not enough, they post that job up on the general website and this platform. So networking is really big and can help you to get that dream job. Lastly, recruitment agencies. There's a bunch of them on LinkedIn that they help. Just send your resume to them. When they find something for you, then reach out to you. So these are some of the things that you can explore on finding jobs. To the million-dollar question, do you need Canadian experience? This is something that is super frustrating, and to be honest, you will hear this a lot, and I get it. What you need to do is find ways around getting your Canadian experience. This can be through volunteering, internship. Also, you need to make sure that you're securing your CV to the Canadian standard. I understand that finding a job in a new city, especially like BC, might seem tough, but it is not impossible. You just need to be proactive, resilient, and you need to make sure that you're doing the right things. Also, your first job may not be your dream job, but it's a stepping stone. Let's talk vibes now. I know we've been talking about all the serious things. It's hard in here, but let's talk about the culture, lifestyle, and what to expect when you get here. So BC is one of the most diverse provinces in the whole of Canada, especially in cities like Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, Richmond. Here you will be on the street hearing like 5 different languages, smelling food from different continents. So trust me, whatever culture, lifestyle that you're thinking about, there is a bit of everything here. Also, BC is known for being open, liberal, and quite progressive. If you're someone who loves cultural experiences, BC is a buffet for you, and it's super inclusive. So you don't need to be wary of whatever culture, lifestyle, or religion that you're into. Also, there is anti-racism education. Although, as with every other place, you can experience some microaggression, but in the general scale of things, BC is a very safe place for you to exist in whatever culture, religion, lifestyle that you might have. You are able to exist freely, and you definitely find somebody that shares the same belief, culture, norms, and values with you. So, thumbs up for sure. One thing that I'm going to say is, for my Nigerian viewers that may be planning to move here, of course, the nightlife is not the same. It's not as bubbly. I mean, it's bubbly, but it's not as it is in Nigeria. You get what I mean? So, the nightlife might not be as great as what we have in Nigeria, but it's still something you can enjoy. Another thing that I mentioned is, I understand I'm moving to a new place. Might be a tad bit difficult to create connection and build, but it's something that happens over time. So, one thing that would make you enjoy all of these things is to connect with people from your country, other places, be open-minded, and take it one step at a time. And before you know it, you're enjoying BC. That's the sum of the culture and lifestyle here. Now, guys, let's talk about the weather in BC and everything you need to know. Because if you're thinking when you move to BC, it's just going to be snowy, mountains, and sunshine all year round, honey, we're in for a plot twist. BC weather, it's giving erratic, it's unprovoked, confused. That's BC weather. You cannot necessarily say this is what, even with the weather forecast, cannot be too sure. But one thing you should know for sure is the Lower Mainland areas, like Vancouver, Burnaby, Surrey, Coquitlam, not Vancouver. The rain here is annoying. It's the most annoying part of the weather here. So you want to make sure that you have your umbrella, raincoat, waterproof shoes. As with every other province, there's also snow here. But Vancouver area, we actually experience lesser snow compared to Surrey, Burnaby, etc. Generally, the snow in BC, it's not as bad as other provinces. But for other regions in BC, like Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, Kamloops, Kelowna, those places experience more snow, icy roads, and all that jazz. And then summer is super delicious. Everyone loves summer. I think that's something that is an overall thing in Canada. So summer is super great here. And then we have fall, which is again the rain season. Just as the name fall, it's raining every single day. So in general, the weather here is pretty damp for the most part. And when it's snowy, it's not as bad as the other provinces. For every season, you just need to be prepared. And check your weather forecast. That's pretty much everything about the weather. Let's get into one of the biggest questions that everyone asks before moving to BC. Is the healthcare really free? How do you even get it? Don't worry, I got you. In BC, healthcare is managed under something called MSP, which is the Medical Services Plan. It's the government-run insurance that covers you for your basic healthcare needs. For example, you're covered for doctor's visits, hospital stays, medical tests, some specialists with referral, and some part of maternity care. But you're not covered for dental, some prescription medication, glasses or eye exams, ambulance rides, physio, massage, or private therapy. So pretty much healthcare covers certain things. It's free, but not fully. You still need some private insurance from your workplace and stuff like that. Now, how do you get it? When you get here, you just need to apply for the MSP because it takes about 3 months to kick in. So whether you're a newcomer, immigrant, international student, once you get here, just apply for your MSP and let the month start counting so you can get your MSP quickly. So how much does the MSP cost? Good news is for residents now, MSP is free. But for international students, you need to pay $75 monthly. Whether or not you use it, once it kicks in, you're being charged $75 monthly. I think this is mandatory for every international student. I know of some people that kind of push it further out. So if your program is 2 years, people subscribe to the MSP maybe 6 months into the program as opposed to doing it immediately you arrive. Whatever the case is, it is very essential for you to have your MSP, especially because you don't know what would happen. And if you don't have the MSP, you need to pay out of pocket. And paying out of pocket is super pricey. It's not even something that I would advise. So yeah, you should get your MSP once you arrive here if you want to be on the safe side. Let's dive deeper into housing and rentals in BC. What types of housing can you generally find? BC offers a variety of options for housing depending on the type of budget you have and your lifestyle in general. There is the apartments and condos, basement suites, townhouses, lane houses, shared apartments, and there's detached houses. So depending on your lifestyle and your budget, any of this can work for you. For students, I would mostly suggest shared apartments because it's quite cheaper, not necessarily cheap, but cost effective. You can budget currently around $1,000 to $1,200 for a decent space. If you're looking at apartments and condos, you need to be looking at the price range of about $2,200 for a 1-bed to about $3,500 for a 2-bed. And it also depends on the area. Like I mentioned earlier, the Vancouver environment, Burnaby is quite pricey, but when you're talking about places like Surrey, you can still get lesser price from $1,700 for a 1-bed to $2,000 for a 1-bed. So how do you find accommodation and rentals in BC? Facebook Marketplace is your best friend. Craigslist, bulletin boards in your school where students post that they have an apartment and they're looking for someone else to share with. Those are like places that you can find. Also, some local real estate agencies sometimes handle rental properties too. So there's pretty much a couple options that you can look into to get like a very good housing without getting scammed in BC. So to get an apartment here is quite tricky. Some documents that you may need to get into the apartment situation here is your photo ID, proof of employment, pay stubs. Some can even go as far as doing credit checks. Generally, if you're a newcomer here, if you don't have any of those documents, of course you have your photo ID, but if you don't have employment here, you need to show proof that you can pay upfront, which is a bank statement from wherever you're at. Or if you even have cash with you here when you get here in BC and you've deposited that into the bank, you can print that out and show them that you have this much funds to cover for your accommodation for this amount of time before you get a permanent job. This kind of helps allows landlords to be at peace and can allow you to stay in the house. But for apartments, condos, and laneway houses, and all those other accommodation that is kind of really fancy, it might not necessarily fly because they're more strict with your rules. They usually want somebody that has a job. You can also sign a contract with them, usually 1-year lease, etc. Also, if you want to buy an apartment here, if you want to buy a house here, the real estate agents have the best options for you. Also, you will still find on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, etc. So it just depends on what you want in general and how much you have to spend. So when you're talking about your monthly rent, I'm sure you're wondering, what is included in this rent? Is it just for you to stay under that roof? Well, for the most part, yes. For some houses, your rent covers certain utilities, majorly water and gas. Your internet and electricity bill, you might have to pay for this. But for shared apartments, which is very common for students, all of these utilities are already covered, but some shared apartment might still tell you that you need to pay a certain amount every month, but it's usually less than if you're staying in like a condo or a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment. The final part of this video, yes, drum roll, is settling in and finding community support in British Columbia. Okay, so you found a city, you've picked a place, maybe you've even started schooling or landed your first job. Now what? It's time to build your life and find your people, because trust me, that support system makes a whole lot of difference. There are so many organizations and networks that are specifically designed to help newcomers, immigrants, and international students settle in properly. Let's start with the settlement agencies. These agencies, they're designed to help you with everything that you need as an immigrant. It can include job opportunities, getting accommodation, doing your resume, language support, every form of support that you may need. And guess what? It is completely free. Examples of this organization include Mosaic, Impact North Shore, Success, Options Community Service, and Vancouver Public Library. Yes, you can totally walk into any of these organizations and ask for help and you're going to get it. And like I said, it is completely free. Now, for international students, your school is your gold mine of support, starting from student success centers, mental health counseling, career planning and internships, clubs and student associations, and free or discounted workshops. All you have to do is just attend. And even your orientation that would take place in your school, please make sure you go. Even if you're shy, just attend. That's where friendships and job tips happen. Another thing that can also help you settle in and build a community, find your own community, is certain apps that you can join to find people that you can connect with. There's the Facebook group, Telegram groups where you find people that are in the same school with you. There's Bumble, the app where you can decide whether you want to make friends, date, or you want to socialize with business partners. And there's also Eventbrite where you can see tons of events and things happening in BC in general. So this app's website, they're all there for you to connect and help you to settle into BC. Download them, check them, and find the one that you like. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. That was a lot of information, but I hope that you're feeling way more prepared to move to BC, Canada, and you have more insight into all of the necessary things you need to know before you decide to move here. Your new chapter is awaiting you. If you found something useful in this video, hit the like button so that YouTube can know that this video is worth sharing. Alright? If you've got questions, drop them in the comment section. I always reply. And if you also are already here or you started navigating life here, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified once I drop new videos about life in BC, Canada in general, and some other perks that I have coming up. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.